This video is brought to you by Ridge Wallet, a slim front pocket wallet available in carbon fiber and titanium. With more than 250,000 sold, a lifetime guarantee and free shipping, get 10% off with the code GOLDFISH at ridgewallet.com. Hello everyone, it's Seth. Probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another Instant Deck Tech. So this week, we are doing something special. Normally on Instant Deck Techs, we kind of jump around from format to format, Modern, Legacy, Pauper, all that stuff, but we are heading towards the release of Guilds of Ravnica on Friday, which means we're going to have a special week this week. This is Guilds Week, where each day this week, we are going to look at a standard deck based on one of the guilds from Guilds of Ravnica. So we don't have tournament results yet. Next week, the week after, we'll start looking at decks that have actual results. So for this week, I kind of scoured the web of different content producers, pros, video producers who have been posting and testing deck lists and grabbed some of the sweetest ones for each guild. So today, we are kicking things off with Boros, and this is Boros Goblins from Ross Merrian over at SCG. He played this deck on the Live Versus series. I'll link the video down below if you want to check him out playing it. So cool deck from Ross Merrian, and we're going to check it out. A sweet tribal Boros deck for Guilds of Ravnica Standard. So a quick reminder before we break down Boros Goblins. If you enjoy this deck and you want to see it made into videos, take a minute, click the like button, the subscribe button, leave a comment, anything you can do to support your deck, because whichever deck is most popular gets a shot at being made into videos next week. So Boros Goblins starts off with our Goblin Payoff. So goblins are kind of a unique tribe. We don't have any traditional lords in our main deck, but we have some tricky ways to take advantage of having a bunch of goblins in our deck. So number one, in the 1-drop slot, we have Skirk Prospector, which basically just lets us accelerate into our bigger and more powerful goblins by sacking random goblins. It's kind of like a Lotus Petal. We can sack itself to add 1 extra mana, get to a 4-drop or 5-drop a turn quicker, and then the late game, sack a bunch of our other goblins to make extra mana. Along with Skirk Prospector, we have another rampy goblin in Goblin War Chief. Just makes it so all of our other goblins cost 1 less to cast. So our 5-drops or 4-drops or 4-drops or 3-drops, and it gives all of our goblins haste. So our goblins are kind of like ball lightning in for damage out of nowhere when we have a Goblin War Chief on the battlefield. We follow that up with one of the better Goblin Payoffs in Standard, which is Veteran Valier. Veteran Valier, when it enters a battlefield, deals damage equal to the number of creatures that are goblins that we control to one of our opponent's creatures. So if we have a bunch of goblins on the battlefield, which we always should because we have a lot of ways to just kind of flood the board with goblins, this just shoots down essentially any creature while leaving behind a 4/2 body, which makes it really powerful. And then at the top end of our curve, we have our biggest, baddest Goblin Payoff, which is Siege Gang Commander, letting us sacrifice goblins to deal 2 damage to anything, so kind of some direct damage reach, and also making 3 1/1 goblin tokens when it enters the battlefield. So in the late game, we can do some cool tricks where we like make our goblins cheaper with Goblin War Chief, use Skirk Prospector to sack our goblins, to make mana, to sack more goblins to Siege Gang Commander, to throw things at our opponent's face and kill them directly without even attacking. So these are kind of our payoff goblins. Our support goblins start off in the 2-drop slot, where we have 2 different goblins that have pretty powerful token making enter the battlefield ability. So Goblin Instigator is just 2 goblins for the price of 1, which works really well with like Skirk Prospector, Siege Gang Commander, all that type of stuff. Putting 2 on-tribe bodies on the battlefield to help us flood the board and kind of overwhelm our opponent by going wide. Wily Goblin makes a treasure token which we can use to ramp into our 4-drops and 5-drops a little bit faster, and then Dark Dweller Oracle is another way we can cash in our random goblins for value. We can sacrifice like the random 1/1 Goblin Instigator token, exile the top card of our library and cast it until end of turn, so it's a weird source of card advantage for our almost mono red deck. Then we have the 3-drops, and the 3-drops are probably the biggest reason to play goblins. They are both so incredibly strong. Goblin Jade Whirler, probably sick of this one by now, comes down, kills a bunch of small creatures, deals damage to 3, leaves behind a 3/3 for 3 body. One of the best cards from our last Standard format, and maybe having even more potential now if you could cast it, because we have like Selesnya tokens, aggro decks are still around, so just a very strong card. And then our new Guilds of Ravnica edition, Legion War Boss, a goblin that makes goblin and also pumps our other goblins by attacking, so just kind of an army in a can that helps us go really wide with our goblins. Really scary with like like Goblin War Chief, coming down for just 2 mana and having haste so we can attack and mentor right away. So a card that can just win the game if it's left unchecked for just 3 mana. As far as our white cards, we don't really have white goblins in the deck, but we have a really good payoff for being white in Radiant Destiny. So Radiant Destiny lets us choose a creature type, which will be goblins, gives all of those creatures +1/+1, which is already great, and then if we have City's Blessing, which we should have pretty easily, thanks to like our tokens that we're making from cards like Goblin Instigator, Siege Gang Commander, really easy to get 10 permanents on the battlefield. Our creatures get Vigilance as well, so we can swing with our entire team of goblins, see how our opponent blocks, maybe sack the ones that do get blocked to activate Siege Gang Commander, make mana with Skirk Prospector. So a really powerful payoff that also pumps our 1/1s, big enough to not die to opposing Chain Whirlers, get around some of those type of effects. We also get access to Conclave Tribunal, is just a catch-all removal spell, allowing us to convoke our goblins to play it for even cheaper, Lightning Strike to throw at our opponent's face for a little bit more reach and early game removal. In the mana base, we get Clifftop Retreat and Sacred Foundry as our primary duels, along with 1 copy of Stone Quarry as a tap land, and then all basic mountains. So our white splash is pretty close to free. All of our white duels except the 1 Stone Quarry should come into play on tap, so very little cost to splashing an extra color in this deck to have that Radiant Destiny, to have our Conclave Tribunal and whatnot. In the sideboard, Goblin Trashmaster comes down and pumps our goblins if we need more protection from Chain Whirler, also a good way to deal with artifacts. Experimental Frenzy and Huatli are kind of our control sideboard cards, giving us repeatable card advantage. Experimental Frenzy in particular, really crazy when it just sits out on the battlefield, so easy to play multiple cards a turn, using our goblin mana, sacking goblins to exile our random lands with Dark Dweller Oracle and whatnot. Huatli Warrior opponent doesn't really do anything with goblins, but just makes a dinosaur every turn, can be a removal spell, gains us some life, and then we have a ton of removal options. Shock to deal with early game creatures, Lava Coil, Fight with Fire to deal with slightly bigger creatures, Bane Fire for uncounterable damage to our opponent's face. We can sack our entire board to our Skirk Prospector to make a bunch of mana, and that is Boros Goblins for Guilds of Ravnica Standard, and that's our instant deck tech for today. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon.
Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.